Well, pleasant good morning. This is AC. Just the break of dawn. I'm up early every morning trying to get getting my exercise in. And I started to put this together to read on Facebook, and the thought came to me, no, do a video. Yeah, it'll be there always. You can put it on YouTube. Somebody can view it again and again and again and again. Well, I'm here because I wanted to unpack something. Well, I'll start by saying I build relationships. I've learned that is very important to build relationships. Because, in the scripture it says, know those that labor among you. All skin folks is not necessarily kin folks. Everyone is not actually for you. And in the scripture, and I'm not going to go into the Bible because that's a long story, but I always like to say, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. There's a lot of powerful information there. And it talks about the fact that you have to seek and ye shall find. The truth is there, but you have to study, you have to research, because it talks and explains and it speaks to the fact that we are ever learning, but we never come to the full knowledge of the truth. Now, what I want to start off with is this. I have learned, and I call it life lessons, building muscles, like lifting weight. I'm just doing an example here. And every time you go through something, if you take the time to ask yourself, as you grow, what did I learn today? What did I see in that I've always been doing that's keep getting me the same thing? Then I came to the conclusion, you have to know what you want. You have to really know what you want. And then you have to know who you are and ask yourself, what's stopping you from having what you want? What's stopping you? And I've come to another conclusion. When people attack you, that should tell you something. Because if you're on the right road, you're going to be attacked. If you're walking with the crowd and you're just going along to get along and you believing everything that you're told, you're not going to have any problems. But I've also learned something else. Life lessons. That when you are being attacked, we mirror each other. Please listen to what I'm saying now. This is me talking, and you may not. I say all the time, we deliver, process, and unpack to understand information and receive it different. So do your research, and sometimes it's not all about just some of the things. You can just look around you and you will see it and start questioning yourself. But here's what I'm saying. We mirror each other. If someone is attacking you, sometimes, my mama used to say to me, she said, listen, Arthur. She used to call me baby sometimes. She called, sometimes it's Arthur and sometimes it's baby. We were real young. She said, listen, I need you to start thanking God for the good and the bad. I said to myself, to myself, how stupid is that? But as I got older, I learned that when you thank him for the good and the bad. What you learned was something you were being taught to build muscles, life experience. Getting back to the fact what I'm saying, we mirror each other. So if someone attacks me or you, then there's something in that trying to build muscles in you. It's trying to tell you something. Don't get angry. Now, you may have to address them, season with salt, because God is not the author of confusion. But sometimes you would have to address what's going on. Because, the scripture talks about the fact that we wrestle against evil, wicked spirits in high places. And we've got a lot of evil people in the world. Now, here's what I was listening, and let me say this first. I've learned that everything I thought I knew, I came to the conclusion I didn't know. I thought I knew because I was programmed. Well, I've also come to the conclusion that you can only renew your mind, because that's why the scripture talks about the fact that you need to get a renewed mind. Be born again. Well, you can't go back into your mother's womb. It's speaking about a renewed mind. When you renew your mind and see things different, think different, then you're going to see things different. But you cannot, unless that person allows you to program their mind to think like you. Now, I'm saying that because I used to raise horses, and I would take that horse to the trough to drink, and he wouldn't drink. I know he's got to be thirsty. Well, I wouldn't take him straight to the trough. I'd walk him and cool him down. And then, after you cool him down, you wash him and scrub him down. Then you try to give him some water. He wouldn't drink. I said, well, okay. After a while, life lessons, I learned to just turn him loose and put some water in the pasture. Time I turn around and walk away, guess what happened? He walked right there and start drinking water. And some people are the same way. And I want to say this. I used to have a television show. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just telling you life lessons. I've interviewed a lot of people. I've dealt with a lot of people. I've had a lot of business. And I've learned a lot from dealing with people. And I have learned some people, you cannot save the world. You can only, the scripture talks about it, save yourself from this untoward generation. But what you could do is share with those that have an ear to hear and a mind and a heart to receive. And it talks about the fact that after you have shared, and like I said with the horse drinking the water, and people are the same way. If they don't receive you, then move on. Move on. Eventually, a seed was planted. When they're ready, what happens? Again, not everyone is going to wake up. Your job is to share what you have learned with others and allow them to share with you, and you receive from them so we can all grow. We want to be a community, not a neighborhood. We want to be a community building a fence around us, not a little group where we only associate with so and so and so, not only just a family where we only get together with our family, we don't have nothing to do with the people in the community. Well, the oppressor, the enemy, can pick you off one by one. I'm not telling you that. Think about it. Is that possible? Again, everything I'm saying here is something for you to think about. See, like I'm on a podcast show now, and it's called Consequence or Benefits. We share and receive. We don't attack. We don't insult. We don't judge. We don't question each other. If someone says something and you disagree, then you could come right on, right after that person and speak your truth as to how you see or what your research reveals for you. Well, somebody said, now they're going to think about that. Because we got all of these different denominations, and every one of them believes something different. Which one should I believe? See? So what I came up with this thought as to each one teach one. Share and receive. Do your research. Look around you and see if what you're hearing is happening. And I've learned something else, because I had a conversation with a group of people, and the conversation went as so. We're doing that. I said, well, okay, all right. How's it working out for you? We're supposed to be the head and not the tail. We're supposed to be the lender and not the borrower. We're supposed to have dominion. Are we in those positions? Well, the reason we are not is because negative words are going out. Well, here's what I learned. Life experience. And this is me talking. You don't have to put it as scripture, Bible. You don't have to say it's facts. It's what I've come to, my conclusion. You think about it. See, like on the show, what I do is I put things out to cause you to think, cause you to do your research, question yourself, question what you believe. If you want to question somebody, don't question me, and don't question the person that just spoke. Question the people that's teaching you and telling you what they are saying is facts. You do your research. 2 Timothy 2:15 says, study to show yourself approved. I always use that scripture because it's powerful and it's a fact. It's true. Makes sense. Study to make yourself approved. A workman needeth not be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth. We are ever learning, but never come to the full knowledge of the truth. That's what it says. And then, sometimes I get excited and I get my scriptures mixed up. I think I might have been given the wrong chapter on this particular scripture, but I think it's in 1 Peter. Now, I think I have previously said 3, but it's in 1 Peter 2, verse 2:15. He said, let every man be ready at all time to give his hope and his reasons for what he believes. I'm paraphrasing. Check it out. 1 Peter 2. No, 1 Peter 2:15. Yeah. Check it out for yourself. I'm paraphrasing what it says. But now, I did some research on that. It did not, and I did my research and I studied that thing, it did not say that give a reason for John Henry or Michael. It says give your reason. You be ready to give your reason. And I used to come on the show and I would always say, now I know somebody's got some kind of response. Now I stopped doing that, but I thought about it. And I'm not going to start back because it's a kickback. Like I said again, all skin folks and kin folks. But I said to myself, now you got all of these people that claim they know the truth and they are teaching the truth, but yet when you have an open forum where you offer them to give their reason for their hope as for what's being asked. Now, I don't ask any individuals question. I just put it on the table. Anybody would like to respond. Each one teach one. And I'm saying to myself, now, they go to church, they heard what the preacher said, the preacher's preaching, and they claim they know the truth and they want to argue with you because they feel like they're being attacked. Well, you got an opportunity to come on and speak up. I know you're there. You heard, and I post on Facebook all over the place. The phone number of how you can tune into the show, and the phone number is 520-525-8633 every Saturday at 2 p.m. Consequence or benefits. And I've got an hour, sometime an hour and a half, depends. But it's an hour, but I can go over. There's no one coming on after me. Now, there's a sister comes on after me, Queen Mama Hassan. And she comes on at 4. So, but what I'm saying is, on that show, there's an opportunity for people to share and get it right. Because they claim they have the answers. Now, there's a whole lot more I want to say, and I could say, but I don't want to ramble. And I don't want to just put too much, because I've learned that if you overload someone with information, some people just can't obtain a lot. They need a little at a time. And some things that I want to say, not ready for. A lot of people is really not ready for it. And you have to feed them with milk until they're ready for meat. I was listening to the podcast again. I've got an hour, like I said, an hour and a half, and I was given this, invited to be on here, but it's actually, the podcast is a grown folk talking, express yourself. There's a whole lot of other shows that comes on different times through the day and the night. Tune in. Again, that number is 520-525-8633. I'm on at Saturdays at 2 o'clock p.m. Consequence or benefits. We share and receive information. Here's another thing I've learned. Now, if there's a particular, and I've been through this, if there's a particular person that you are interested in, because we are all connected. We're all connected. You could send out, because, let's see if I can get this, take my time with this. If you're constantly thinking of someone, they'll pick up the vibration. But you have to really, really do it over and over and over. But what you cannot do is override their decision. But if you build a relationship with people and they get to know who you are and your purpose and your spirit, your energy, that's a big help of connection. Because like I say, it's all about building relationships. What I'm trying to say is that person will begin to either think about you, and if you keep pulling them in by thinking about them, But again, you cannot overpower their decision. Same thing, they can draw you in to think about them. But if you're not interested, they can't overpower you and make you. The same thing I'm trying to say about speaking positive and thinking positive. You cannot influence the world. You cannot save the world. You can only convince yourself the way you see things and renew your mind. But if you get enough people together on one accord, now see, don't forget, we are all connected. But if you can all get them on the same channel, the same vibration, and y'all vibrate together, it will start to affect a larger amount of people. And then they start vibrating. That's how I call it each one teach one. Sometimes you could do it through a thought, imagination, attracting. Like I said, if I think about Jimmy and constantly think about Jimmy, 9 out of 10, Jimmy will start thinking about me or Mary. And I've done this, but here's what I came up with. If you don't get a response, they could not be interested. I don't say stop thinking, but stop calling, stop texting, because then it's almost like you're trying to force the horse to drink the water, and he doesn't want to drink. Some people are the same way. Leave them alone. When they are ready, if they're really interested, they'll contact you. But that doesn't necessarily stop. It should cause you to stop from thinking about them. But you have to be careful, because you could get locked in to where you can get yourself hurt if you're not focused on who you are and where you're going and when to turn loose. Listen, I think I'm going to close right here. And I want to say one more thing. I started to say it earlier. I was listening to something on the podcast show the other night. And the young lady, she spoke every bit of the truth as far as I'm concerned. She deals with chiropractor. And I used to, years and years ago, I mean, a long time ago, I'm just going to leave it like that. I used to go and get massage, chiropractors to get adjusted, etc. And they used to make me feel so good. But what it does, it relieves stress. It opens up different areas so the blood can flow. But she said it doesn't stop there. The food you eat has a lot to do with it. Your environment has a lot to do with it. The way you think has a lot to do with it. And she went on, and she was exactly right. See, we are spirits living in an earthly body with a mind, will, and emotion. And you have two minds, the spirit mind and the flesh mind. Sometimes you have to know which one is speaking to you. You have a subconscious mind and a conscious mind. I've already talked about that previously on another video. But there's a lot that I want to say, could say, but I think I've said enough. We need to start doing our research, thinking about some of the things we hear, and start questioning ourselves. And if you want to question someone, questions the one that been telling you things that you have believed, but now after you've thought about it, you want to ask a few questions. I don't tell people anymore. I used to tell people what they should do because based on what I've came to my conclusion on, I stopped doing that. Who are you, Arthur, to tell someone else what they should be doing or what they should be? You can share with them, and if they got an ear to hear and want to do their research, that's up to them. But if they don't hear it and don't receive it, move on. Don't judge them. Hey, listen, I'm so glad God don't look at me like the people. Because I mean, at one point, I was a problem. I was a handful to deal with. You couldn't tell me nothing. I knew everything. And I was a self-made man. And I did a lot. I made money. Well, I spent a lot of money. I lost a lot of money. But again, it was life lessons. Life lessons. Building muscles. I'm not going to go any deeper, but I'll just stop by saying we have to start forgiving. You may not forget, but we're going to have to start forgiving because we can do more and have more if we are working together and not working against each other, tearing each other down, or judging each other. Like I said before, I'm so glad God didn't judge me for who I was. He looked at who he knew I would become. And you know, as in the scripture, he says he uses the foolish to confound the wise. And I was definitely one of the foolish ones. It's another scripture in Proverbs. It said, a foolish woman plucketh down her own house with her own hands. Now that, I don't want to go any further with that, but that could apply for some men's too. I tell you what, my name is AC. Every Saturday at 2 p.m. Tune in, 520-525-8633. That's the phone number. All you have to do is call that number and you're on. Let's sit down. Let's listen if that's what you want to do. If you want to share, share. But let's don't judge. Let's don't challenge. Again, people that's judging you, don't get angry with them. They're helping you to build muscle. I've had a lot of people attack me, but then I begin to think about it. We mirror each other. What are you learning from what they are telling you? Why are you getting angry? Or what they're saying is true? Do your research. Look around you. Question yourself. Don't compete and argue. Now, you may have to respond to them seasoned with salt because sometimes one apple could spoil the whole basket. If people are not focused on who they are, because some people just listen and go along with everything they hear. They don't do research. They don't think for themselves. I'm going to stop right there. My name is AC. My time is up. It's been up. Thank you for yours. And I will see you on the other side.